Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I am Madhavdas G. Viewers, the functioning of Parliament is crucial for democracy. But what we witnessed over the past week was entirely disruption, chaos and ruckus. Today, for a change, there was a thaw with Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi speaking in Parliament. On the floor of the House, Rahul trained his guns at the government on several issues, from accusing the government and Prime Minister of selling India out to criticizing the historic India-US trade deal to raising Jeffrey Epstein files and allegations concerning Adani Group in Lok Sabha. Rahul sparked a heated clash of narratives.
मार्शल आर्ट की जो फाउंडेशन होती है स्पीकर सर, वो ग्रिप से शुरू होती है। तो शुरुआत ग्रिप से होती है सर, और लक्ष्य होता है कि ग्रिप के एकदम आने के बाद चोक में जाए। और होता क्या है सर, वो रेजिस्ट करता है, पहले 2-3 बार ऐसे रेजिस्ट करता है और फिर उसको भी पता लग जाता है कि मैं गया, और फिर वो वहां पे बात खत्म हो जाती है और फिर वो सरेंडर करके ऐसे टैप कर देता है सर। प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प, if you want access to this data, then please understand that you are going to talk to us as an equal. You are not going to talk to us as if we are your servants. I am saying that you have sold India. Are you not ashamed of selling India? Do you have no shame of selling India? You have sold our mother, Bharat Mata. Do you have no shame? You know why he sold India? Because they are choking him. They've got a grip on his neck. स्पीकर साहब, मैंने बोला, जब चोक लगाते हैं दूसरे व्यक्ति की आंख में देखते हो तो डर दिखता है सर, पीएम की आंख में डर दिखता है। सर एप्स्टीन, सर 3 million files are still locked up.
And the Treasury benches hit back immediately, objecting to his language and defending the government's negotiating position. Ministers insisted India's interests remain safeguarded and no final agreement has compromised sovereignty. In fact, according to top sources, government will write to Lok Sabha Speaker to either ask Rahul Gandhi to authenticate his claims or that his entire speech would be expunged from parliamentary records.
मैं सदन में कहना चाहता हूँ, आज तक कोई माई के लाल पैदा नहीं हुआ जो भारत को सेल कर सकता है, कोई खरीद सकता है।
बिना बात के, बिना किसी बुनियाद के संसद में आरोप लगाना राजनीतिक दृष्टिकोण से अपने एलओपी के पद की गरिमा को भी उन्होंने कम किया।
अगर किंग जेम्स द फर्स्ट was the wisest fool in Christendom, so we can say that Rahul Gandhi is the wisest fool in Congressdom.
कुछ नहीं है, एक पेपर लाए, मैं अथेंटिक करता हूं बोले तो ये अथेंटिक, ये बोलने से अथेंटिक नहीं होगा। यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड, इनको अथेंटिकेशन का अर्थ भी समझ नहीं है, रूल का भी अर्थ का समझ नहीं है, इसलिए कुछ भी बोलते हैं।
On the one hand, you have leaders who dedicate their lives to transforming the country, who work around the clock, and then you have elements of buffoonery.
In fact, there was also a moment of heated exchange in the parliament during Rahul's speech when the presiding officer in Lok Sabha interrupted him. During the debate, Rahul Gandhi referred to Jagdambika Pal's past association with the Congress. Pal responded firmly, reminding Rahul that he's sitting on the opposite end because he didn't pay heed to his advice.
अब क्यों ट्रैक से जा रहे बाहर? Because you were on right track. You were absolutely on right track. Why you are just
Speaker sir, you are ex-Congress party member, so I will do you a special favor today, sir. I will back down.
नहीं, मेरी बात अगर आप मानते तो वहाँ नहीं बैठे होते। आप अगर if you are sitting there, तो only because of you have not taken my advice.
Let's take this across to our guest now. Joining us is Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of BJP. Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate of the Supreme Court, is with us. Advocate Umar Junaidi, political analyst, is with us. Abbas Haidar is national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Let me start with you first and foremost. Umar Junaidi, the martial arts analogy apart, the question that's being asked of many, particularly given that this entire trade deal has been revised now from the US's side, several changes including agricultural products, the provisions of the US draft have been revised. Who's really coming under pressure? Going by Rahul Gandhi's analogy.
Madhav, now I don't understand. Whenever the leader of opposition, Shri Rahul Gandhi, speaks on the facts, instead of focusing what he has said and giving the clarification, why the claims, whatever the statement made by Rahul Gandhi is, the challenge saying that what is the base and all. Whenever a leader of opposition speaks something, raises question or something, why the government is not answering to the questions raised by the Rahul Gandhi? If there is the revision in the tariff, if there is a revision in the trade deal, so why not answer the Rahul Gandhi's claim with the answers? Whatever the revisions has been done. So instead of doing that, some of the ministers stand in the parliament and say, no, nobody can dare to touch or sell Bharat Mata and all. It is not required who is daring and who is not selling the India. It is the fact that Rahul Gandhi is raising the questions of the trade deal, and whatever the trade deal you have done, you might have created the pressure on US. State what is the pressure you have created. Instead of answering that, you are questioning why Rahul Gandhi is questioning this.
Should the state should answer? Sanju Verma respond. The government should answer for its actions. Don't engage in questioning Rahul Gandhi. He's not even given a chance to speak in parliament, is what opposition repeatedly says. Respond to Marjunedi.
Madhav, since Rahul Gandhi spoke about stranglehold and how you choke your opponent in martial arts, I want to tell Rahul Gandhi, in boxing terminology, there is something called throw in the towel. And Rahul Gandhi has basically thrown in the towel after 3 Lok Sabha defeats and is now, holding on to straws to ensure his political relevance. There is also a term in boxing called on the ropes. It is basically about a player or a politician who's in serious trouble and is cornered. Rahul Gandhi is cornered. We know that even his own alliance partners like Supriya Sule and Omar Abdullah said, we don't believe his allegations on vote chori and EVM. And there is something called in boxing, taking it on the chin. Rahul Gandhi is not able to take it on the chin because he's been made into a punching bag by his own alliance partners, even in states like DMK's Tamil Nadu. And, DMK and Congress are not seeing eye to eye there, with polls slated in a couple of weeks from now. But the moot point is this. Inflation, unemployment, Adani, Manipur, Ram Mandir, Pegasus, CAA, Waqf, Article 370, SIR, Galwan, Doklam, vote chori, Operation Sindoor. In all these cases, the Modi government was willing to answer every pointed question from Rahul Gandhi, from the Darbari ecosystem and the opposition. But what did Rahul Gandhi do? Rahul Gandhi, in 99% of these cases, was MIA, missing in action. And did you notice something today? He said, "Mujhe abhi finance minister se jawab chahiye." And Kiren Rijiju told him, the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman will answer your questions on budget. She is going to be speaking in the House at 5 p.m. If you want answers now, in the pre-noon session, the MOS finance is there. Rahul Gandhi should understand, you are in the opposition benches. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman कोई आपकी खरीदी हुई गुलाम नहीं है, that आप बुलावा दोगे और वो चली आएंगी आपके सवालों का जवाब देने के लिए. And my final point, Madhav, without being verbose, is this. Rahul Gandhi says, shame on you, Narendra Modi, you sold India. I tell you, Rahul Gandhi, shame on your father, Rajiv Gandhi. He did not listen to the then Army Chief K. Sundar Ji and went ahead with Operation Pavan. Shame on you, Rahul Gandhi. Till date, you have not told us what was the MOU signed between your mother, Sonia Gandhi, and the CCP
Let me bring in the Samajwadi Party. The government's point is repeatedly this, Abbas Haider, that Rahul Gandhi is making wild allegations. There is nothing to prove what he is saying. Yes, there are certain ministers who may have been mentioned in the Epstein files, but that is nothing to do with the current controversy. That's what Hardeep Puri is also explaining. So what they're essentially saying is that Rahul Gandhi's claims are A, not substantiated, and B, he hasn't been able to authenticate anything that he's saying on the floor of Parliament. Respond to that.
Madhavji, first of all, we are not subservient to any nation. We are a sovereign state, and our nation should be taken within our country. That is our sovereign right. Now, when the President of the United States of America tells us that, there is a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, that is, when our sovereignty is being compromised. When the President of US tells the world that, India is going to buy oil from Venezuela, that is when our sovereignty is questioned. You know, Madhav Ji, whatever Rahul Gandhi was saying in the parliament, I believe that, you know, Sanju Verma was talking about, you know, terms from boxing. There is also a term in boxing called knockout. And the Bharatiya Janata Party, the people of India, they are going to knock out Bharatiya Janata Party in the coming election. Because, you know, this, if we talk about this particular trade deal, Madhav, this trade deal is not announced by our country, our nation. And our Prime Minister who spoke in the Raj Sabha never said a word about it. He couldn't say that, you know, nobody can decide for us. We decide. We are the biggest market in the world. And we should use it for our leverage. When we go for a trade deal, we have opened a floodgate for American, you know, agriculture sector, which is very, you know, it works in a corporate way. And, you know, there is an uneven market. And
sir, how is it uneven? This is the question that I just opened the debate with. If US has gone back on the agricultural products, if you're saying farmers' interest is compromised, the US has redacted several of those things from the draft that you saw released on Saturday. It has done so today.
So exactly. So the trade deal is not yet signed, and we are giving 0% import duty to US, and we are going to pay.
No, they've removed agricultural products from that. Ishkaran, but one second, Abbas, 1 second. I've posed the question. Now you're clearly not aware of the facts. I want Ishkaran to come in, and then you can respond to him. Ishkaran, who is under pressure here? The allegation of opposition is that this is a government that is under pressure on various issues. He's invoked Anil Ambani, he's invoked Adani, so on and so forth, Epstein files, and he says, therefore, the government is the one who is buckling under pressure and giving an unfair deal. The update today, however, is the fact that US has agreed to several of those contentious points that were controversial here in India, which have now been removed from Saturday's draft.
Madhav, one would wish that the leader of opposition or any politician, if he is making a speech, say and spell out what part of the deal specifically he feels is against India's interest. But a rambling, incoherent speech in which you are talking about choking, panic in eye, falling down, lifting up, one is not sure whether it's a trade deal you are discussing or it's a script for 50 Shades of Grey or some such movie. What was the context of all this? I don't understand. And when you are making a statement, please know that A, the deal is not final. Chapter and verse you do not know. Let me tell you as a lawyer, when two parties are coming to an agreement, till it is signed and all details are spelled out, it's very difficult to know. I will not say it's a master deal or it's a disaster deal. It's very difficult to know till that time what has been finally agreed, because you don't have every clause, every sub-clause before you. But what has come out is a deal as of now, very favorable to India. What did you want? That a deal not be struck? A deal has been struck not only with US, but we have to go back with the European Union. That deal created a pressure on Donald Trump. You saw the statements which used to come from the officials of US, how India will need to beg, how India will need to surrender, how India will need a lesson, etc., etc. What happened? India kept quiet. India signed a mammoth deal with European Union. That created certain pressure, which nobody is talking about. Nobody is discussing the strategy where silence and sticking to your guns in the end made US come to table and sign a deal which is extremely favorable to India, at least what all is in public domain. On agriculture, it has not been opened up, as you have said. The clarifications have come. On every other aspect, all the red lines of India have been respected. When we talk about tariffs, please understand, in 1960s, if you got 60% marks, probably you had admission in the best college of India. Today, you don't have. Today, every country in the world is facing tariff because we are going into a new regime. It is like saying, what is the GST on one thing? And earlier, there was no GST because there was a different tax regime internally. Now, there is a different order globally. The last thing I would say, please, when you talk about surrendering the sovereignty, that is when a party which has ruled India for a long time signs a MOU with a foreign country or a political party of a foreign country, China, and does not disclose the details. All the details of this trade deal will come out, including on agriculture. So let's hold our horses and deal with them. And at that time, for sovereignty, please disclose the deal, MOU you have with China. We still do not know it.
Okay, Omar Junaidi, take that question. I want to ask you a couple of facts. Now, Rahul Gandhi, during his speech, has spoken about Bangladesh enjoying lower tariffs compared to India. The last time I checked, that Bangladesh is at 19%. India's tariff at 18%, of course, is very well known. But let's also remember that whatever is there as far as accepting Bangladeshi textiles is concerned is also incumbent on the specific volume of textile imports of Bangladesh that will allow for goods and cotton from US to be exported to Bangladesh. The point is, we don't have any such riders. So is Rahul Gandhi making a false equivalence there?
If Rahul Gandhi is making a false allegations and a false statement, make it open in the public. Why are you not answering just now?
I'm asking you a question.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You now check about what is Bangladesh tariff and India's tariff. Let the same be answered by the minister, concerned minister. No.
No, but my friend, I'm asking on the basis of the information that is publicly available. I'm not asking you some top secret information. If you have studied the trade deal, you would know this.
Madhav, this is what to be answered by the concerned minister. You are saying this is the wrong allegation made by Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi doesn't know anything. Make it in the parliament. No, but why he is making the basis allegations?
Sir, he has made a wrong allegation in parliament. I'm asking you as a supporter of Rahul Gandhi, what do you have to say? If you don't know about it, then admit that you don't know.
No, I have only to say this. Whatever the question raised by the leader of opposition must be answered by the government. Instead of playing with the questions and making the allegations on...
Okay, let the BJP spokesperson answer that. You clearly don't have a grip on this. Rahul Gandhi talks about grip and choke, but who has the grip of the narrative is a very big question. Sanju Verma, has Rahul Gandhi been someone who has been factual today, particularly when it comes to tariffs of the neighboring countries, and who really has the grip and who really has the choke?
You know, I don't know who has the grip and who has the choke, but I know that in the last 3 Lok Sabha elections, देश की जनता ने राहुल गांधी को knockout blow दिया है. It's called a knockout punch. But let's get back to serious business here. I want to tell your audience, Madhav, through your widely watched show, that Bangladesh's total textile market is $57 billion. Ours is $179 billion. So first and foremost, don't compare apples with watermelons. Bangladesh sources more than 72% of its cotton from India. Do you know why? Because Indian cotton is short staple, which is used for daily wear and mass clothing. US cotton is long staple, which can only be used for premium clothing. So for Bangladesh to buy expensive US cotton in order to get zero duty access is a no-brainer. It's a non-starter, because if it imports expensive long staple US cotton, then Bangladesh's exports become non-competitive and they become far more expensive vis-a-vis India. And the final point which I want to make is this very quickly. What are Bangladesh's total exports? $856 billion. What are India's exports? Pardon me. Annual India's exports, it's $856 billion. What are Bangladesh's annual exports? $48 billion. So basically our exports are 17 times bigger than Bangladesh. What is Bangladesh's economy? $450 billion. Ours is $4.34 trillion. We are 9.6 times bigger in terms of absolute GDP vis-a-vis Bangladesh. And my final point, India's forex reserves are $724 billion. Bangladesh's forex reserves are $34 billion. Our forex reserves are 15 times bigger than Bangladesh. Okay. And Rahul Gandhi, who does not understand even basic arithmetic, he does not even know that 2 plus 2 is 4, has the audacity to lecture us on the trade deal.
Let me come in on a very important point, and this is a very significant point that opposition repeatedly raises. Abbas Haider, please listen to my question carefully. I'm going to cite a few statistics, and you can correct me if I am wrong, and if you have, of course, an alternative view, that is welcome as well. But when Rahul Gandhi today says that GOI, the government of India, has sold farmers and their interests before the United States, has he done so without credible substantiation? I'm only going to read out what is already there in the public domain, so just bear with me a minute. Certain products like spices, tea, coffee, coconut, fruits, grains, which earlier attracted up to 50% tariff, we are told, will now have 0% tariff. Agriculture Minister has come out and said that Indian agriculture exports will also have 0 tariff, whereas American agricultural products won't have this concession. So, shouldn't, if Rahul Gandhi is making such a claim, do it with certain amount of substantiation?
First of all, Madhav Bhai, let me tell you, the Bharatiya Janata Party has set the benchmark to Bangladesh, where we expect that our benchmark should at least be equal to China or USA. We don't compare ourselves to Bangladesh. Bangladesh or Pakistan, one thing.
Let's
Second
be fair.
thing,
Let's be fair. I quoted Rahul Gandhi and asked that question. You're accusing BJP of something. You're well within your right to do so. But my question, the whole point came up because Rahul raised it today.
I'm just coming to that. I'm not dodging that question. I'll tell you, sir. The deal also include Venezuelan import from energy import from Venezuela. Now, I will specifically give you some specific data about it. First of all, Madhav, if
we'll come to oil. Answer the farmer's question first, please, because it's a very important issue. We all want to know. If the government has done something wrong for the interest of farmers, it's in our interest to debate it. We are all citizens of the same country.
Exactly.
Answer that question before we come to oil.
Statement from White House, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Agriculture of the United States government. As of now, I couldn't see. I could find. I was trying to find any official response. I have no official response about this one thing. So I'm not able to comment on that. Second thing, I'm talking about the energy dependency of our country. You remember 2022 when we were dependent on the US energy and what was happening in our country. Now, worst thing is going to happen. If we are going to import from Venezuela, our free charges would be exactly double because the distance would be double. Second thing, we are again going to have that the discount that the countries are giving on each barrel. So that is around $5 to $7 if we are importing from Russia, and if we are importing from Venezuela, it will be $2 to $3. So again, we are going to have more losses. Third thing, the refining cost is much higher.
Venezuela before?
For the Venezuelan oil, the refining cost is much higher. In total, the bill that we are going to spend more $9 to $11 billion more on our energy bill. So this is going to happen. So this deal of
you haven't answered the question of farmers, to be very fair. But since you have raised another important issue of oil, I want Ishkaran to come in on that. Ishkaran, the clarity. Just a second, Abbas. The clarity on oil is still not there. Because the question was posed to the Commerce Minister a few days ago. He says, ask the Minister of External Affairs. The Ministry of External Affairs is also not particularly in the know when it comes to, or in the dark when it comes to what exactly the specifics of that are. We just have some government sources telling us that we can buy energy from wherever we want. However, United States' position is quite different. They are saying this tariff reduction is completely incumbent on the fact that we stop completely buying oil from Russia. And that could have economic implications, is what opposition is repeatedly pointing out. Ishkaran.
Madhav, two short points. A, I fully agree that there is no need to discuss or compare India with Bangladesh. But if the leader of opposition or anybody in opposition raises a question on Bangladesh, that question needs to be answered. Otherwise, you would say, no, what we were raising is the truth. So that's the short point of it. The countries you need to compare with, of course, globally are, including China. What's the tariff on China? 37% last time I saw. What's the tariff on India? 18%. But let's come to oil. It is a national security issue. It's a geopolitical issue. Before 2022, what was the Russian oil we were buying? Today we are still buying Russian oil. US could make any statement for its domestic audience. Why do we need to respond to it? I don't understand, since when does Trump's statement become gospel truth? What we will need to see is how it plays out, what the government of India does. Firstly, no one part of the deal should be seen in isolation. It's a package. India is a country which is trading with US as a package. There will be some give, there will be some take. All that we have heard till now is we will buy Russian oil, or we'll buy any oil which is commercially suitable to India, and we will continue to do so. Whatever the ratio be, before 22, we were buying less than 1%, we might buy 10%, we might buy 8%, we might buy 30%. That will all come out. As of today, all that has happened is finally, without crossing red lines, without opening agriculture, without opening dairy, we have struck a deal with US after a deal with European Union. And that is to the betterment of every Indian, except those who are unhappy that a deal has been struck, who did not want India to progress, who wanted India to be isolated, and their dreams
has the oil question been answered? We have not stopped buying oil from Russia. We may have reduced it over months, but we haven't stopped buying. The question of buying oil from Russia has been answered.
I would love to agree with what Mr. Ishkaran Bhandari is saying, but this answer needs to be questioned by the counterpart, the Indian counterpart of the US president. That is the head of the government of India, Prime Minister. He should respond to it. That no, we are not subservient to US government. We are going to decision on our own. Nobody can dictate us our policy. Nobody can tell us where to buy, what to buy. So I think there should be a clarification from the Prime Minister of India. No other official can actually respond on this, and that would make a difference.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, I want Sanju to respond to that, because Sanju, certain products that have been pointed out, US-made distillers, dry grains with solubles, etc., or it is the which can be used as cattle feed, the residual de-oiled cake, etc. All of these are also and red sorghum, etc. All these products are going to be much cheaper in India. While it may benefit a section of farmers in certain categories, the point is there are some products that are going to come into India which are agricultural in nature, but that also a lot of questions about how that would impact on their manufacturers or the equivalents here in India.
Madhav, I'll answer. That's a very interesting question, but I just want to say this. The Samajwadi Party spokesperson says हमको तो बांग्लादेश के साथ ही बड़े-बड़े देशों के साथ अपनी तुलना करनी चाहिए. In 2023, India overtook the United Kingdom to become the world's 5th largest economy. Last year, we overtook Japan to become the world's 4th largest economy. And by 2027, we will overtake Germany to become the world's 3rd largest economy. Madhav,
before the Bharatiya Janata Party. Do you remember that?
Abbas, let us make a point. We are almost out of time on this debate. Yeah.
This is why I say you need to be literate. India was the 3rd largest economy in 2011 as per purchasing power parity. India is still the world's 3rd largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity.
Where does India
but India was the 11th largest economy in 2011 as in terms of nominal GDP.
Okay.
Today, in terms of nominal GDP, we are the world's 4th largest economy. You don't even know.
Okay. Completely out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Completely out of time. I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us. In fact, I'd like to thank Abbas Haider, Umar Junaidi, Ishkaran Bhandari and Sanju Verma will stay with us for debate number 2.